Another Adobe Illustrator quick tip by Fatfly Design. Let's take a look at how to add Pantone colors to your Swatches panel in Adobe Illustrator. This would be useful if you're designing for a printed project that may be reproduced using Pantone colors. Okay, so here is a graphic that I created in Illustrator, and currently all the colors have been defined with CMYK values. If I was going to a digital color copy or something like that, that would be just fine. But let's say I want to print this on a t-shirt. So I need to get separations with spot colors because I have 1, 2, 3 colors of ink. And on the t-shirt, we're not going to print that using CMYK, we're going to print that using spot colors. To do this, I'm also going to use my handy little Pantone color guide here. Makes it much easier to choose colors from. So I would go through this guide and find a yellowish orange that I like, and a red that I like, and the darker red that I like as well. And I would write down those numbers and add them here in Illustrator. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a copy of this real quick. And then I'm going to go to my Swatches panel. Now, I'm going to separate this here so we can look at the whole Swatches panel. This is what I consider somewhat of a dangerous swatches color panel because this has colors that are CMYK, it also has colors that are RGB, and it has gradients, it has patterns, and all sorts of default things in here. And I really don't want all of those available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave none, registration, white, and black. But I'm going to click on this first swatch, which is red, and I'm holding my shift key down. Come down to the very last swatch in here, it will select all of those, and I'm going to delete them. I don't need those. Okay, so I have a much cleaner swatches panel. Now I'm going to create a new group, and I'm going to call it CMYK Swatches. And I'm going to create a second group, and I'm going to call it Pantone Swatches. So I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to choose this yellow bar here, and I'm going to add that to my CMYK swatches. And I'm going to choose my red, and I'm going to choose my second red. Okay. Now, I would grab my guide and I would pick the colors from the guide, and each color here has a specific number. For example, this is Pantone 256. Okay, now, how do I find this book in Illustrator? Well, I go to my Swatches panel, and over here to the options, come down to Open Swatch Library, and you can see there are lots of different swatch libraries. I'm looking for color books, and then I'm looking for Pantone Solid Coated. There's lots of different Pantone books in here. Most of the time in Illustrator, I'm picking from this Pantone Solid Coated, and that's what I want you to use. Okay, so it brings up another Swatches panel, and essentially I have this book right here in this panel. Now, I have already written down the numbers that I want, so I want 130, and you can see here it brought up Pantone 130, the C stands for coated, so I'm going to drag and drop that over here into this group. You can see that it's very close to the CMYK version. I want 1815, that looks like the dark red one. And I want 1795. I wrote those down over here on a pad. Okay, so I have the Pantone swatch equivalents here. I can go ahead and close this. And if I look in my swatches panel, if you look close, this is the largest thumbnail I can give you. But you see these little triangles down here in the corner of the swatches? That means that those are spot colors. You notice the CMYK ones do not. So these are my Pantone swatches. So now I need to come down to my graphic, and I'm going to choose both the yellows, and I'm going to change them to this Pantone color. Over here in my color panel, notice that it tells me it's now a Pantone color instead of the CMYK. Up here in the first version, it's CMYK. Then I'm going to grab the two red, convert those, and I'm going to grab all the dark red, and all of those have been converted. So this second version is everything is specified as Pantone colors, and the top one, everything is specified as CMYK. So that's how you get Pantone colors into your Swatches panel, and then you simply apply those colors to your artwork. Thanks for watching this Illustrator quick tip. I hope it was helpful. If you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe below. And if you get a chance, visit my website at fatflydesign.com.